Yo, what's up guys? In today's video I have a bunch of Chicago Bulls news that just came out. Just a heads up, I just got back from vacation. Thank you guys for all the love on the last video. Definitely go check out that video if you guys missed it. The Bulls are expected to make a big trade during this upcoming season. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Leave a quick like on today's video. It takes a second, helps me out. And some comments and questions below today's video. And like I said, I was out of town for this past weekend, but the Chicago Bulls did go undefeated in preseason, so definitely leave a like on today's video for that as well. But nonetheless, let's just jump right into it because this weekend was just very busy. The Bulls signed a lot of players and they also cut a lot of players. And just the other day, the Bulls signed Bryce Alford to a non-guaranteed training camp contract. And I'm going to be honest, that did kind of surprise me just because training camp was pretty much coming to an end. And then out of nowhere, the Bulls did sign him. And, you know, he was a very good three-point shooter in college. You know, he went to UCLA and he played with Lonzo Ball. I'll make sure to throw up a picture of them. But then just the next day, the Bulls did cut him. So that was really interesting. I'm not sure what was the point of that. But like I said, the Bulls were really busy, and over the weekend, they also did sign Troy Baxter Jr. as well. I saw a lot of Bulls fans asking me what happened with him. You know, I'm really high on him. He's very athletic. I liked what I saw from him in limited minutes in Summer League. But then, same thing that happened to him just the next day, the Bulls cut him and Stanley Johnson. You know, I made some past videos talking about who's going to make the roster, if it was Stanley Johnson or Matt Thomas. And as of right now, it does seem like Matt Thomas secured the last roster spot. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video about that topic. And I know a lot of Bulls fans were really high and just really excited to see Troy Baxter probably make the roster or just the G League. You know, he was signed Friday and then got cut Saturday. You know, look for him to land with Chicago's G League franchise team, the Windy City Bulls. You know, that makes me happy. Hopefully the Bulls can sign him, or the Windy City Bulls. I'd like to see him develop in the G League and maybe play one day in the NBA. You know, he's really athletic, really young. I feel like he could be a solid backup in the league one day. And like I just said earlier in today's video, you know, sharp shooting guard Matt Thomas, once viewed as a very long shot to make the regular season roster. You know, at first, I didn't even think he was going to make the roster. Then I heard, you know, Stanley Johnson really wasn't playing. Matt Thomas was playing over him, and I believe he played pretty solid in preseason. You know, he has officially secured the last spot of the Chicago Bulls regular season roster. Of course, he's a very deadly three-point shooter. He's very trusted as a three-point shooter, and I'm honestly really happy that he made the roster over Stanley Johnson. I know a lot of Bulls fans were really happy and really, like, I just say high on Stanley Johnson, and I was too. You know, I felt like he could be a great backup 3 or 4 off the Bulls bench. He was a really good defender. Of course, he was a lottery pick, but in preseason, he just didn't look comfortable with the rock in his hands, and I just really didn't like what I saw from him in I'd say limited minutes in preseason. And just the other day, the Chicago Bulls also signed Tyler Cook to a 2-way contract. You know, the Bulls were holding that 2-way spot open for a while. I really thought we were going to sign Troy Baxter Jr. to that, but I guess the Bulls did convert Tyler Cook's training camp deal to a 2-way contract. That does kind of surprise me considering he really didn't play that much in preseason, and I felt like he just wasn't that solid. But nonetheless, he's on a 2-way contract, and the Chicago Bulls roster is officially set. You know, Tyler Cook and Devin Dotson are on the 2-way contracts. Matt Thomas did make the roster over Stanley Johnson for now, Casey Johnson said, and Alize Johnson is a lock to stay. I think that's obvious news. You know, Alize Johnson really impressed me in preseason. I'm really happy with his play, his energy. He's a really solid defender, a really good offensive and defensive rebounder as well. I mean, he said he was a big fan of Dennis Rodman. He was watching highlights of him and just how he rebounded the ball. You love to hear that. I'm really excited for him just to be that like Bobby Portis, Taj Gibson off the Bulls bench. You know, just bring a lot of energy, rebounds, blocks, you know, good defense. You know, I'm really happy with that pickup. You know, as the days go by, I really liked what I saw from him in preseason. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video about him as well. And like Casey Johnson said, he was not surprised that Matt Thomas made the roster over Stanley Johnson, and I wasn't as well. You know, Arturas has always had a big value in three-point shooting, and especially I think it didn't help that Javonte Green was going crazy in the preseason. I feel like he's a perfect 4, of course, if Patrick Williams isn't healthy. Thankfully, he played last Friday, and he looked really solid. He is expected to play Wednesday for the Chicago Bulls season opener. So it does look like the Chicago Bulls roster is finally set. I'm really happy with Matt Thomas making the roster. Like I said, Arturas loves three-point shooting, so it doesn't surprise me. It does kind of suck that we did cut Stanley Johnson, but he just wasn't the best in preseason, and there's a reason that he was kind of I'd say he's a bust in the NBA, and he really hasn't stayed with any NBA team for, I'd say, really long. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video talking about all the roster changes the Bulls did make for this past weekend. I was out of town. It was a really busy weekend, of course, the one weekend I go out of town. But nonetheless, I hope you guys are all updated on that whole situation. And the final topic I want to talk about in today's video is just a Chicago Bulls season preview. The Chicago Bulls do open up their season this Wednesday at 6 o'clock in Detroit versus the Pistons. And I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but the Bulls looked very solid, just like a very complete, I'd say, good chemistry. They all gelled well together in preseason. Even the bench guys looked very comfortable playing with one another. I'm just really excited for this regular season opener. I've been excited for the regular season since preseason started. It's just been fun watching this team. I just want the games to mean something now. Let's be honest, the Bulls are obviously the favorited team to win over the Pistons, but the Bulls have to go into this game, thinking that this is a good team. We can't just let our foot off the pedal and know that this is a bad team and we should win and not try. I know the old Bulls teams with DeRozan and Jimmy used to do that. If they saw a bad team, I felt like they wouldn't give it 100% at times. But the Bulls should honestly start this season, I'd say 3-0 or 4-0. The Bulls also do play the Pelicans this Friday, October 22nd at 7 p.m. And I do believe I saw Zion Williamson is out. So I think that's another game the Bulls should win easily. I'm just really excited for this regular season to start and kick off. The Bulls were really fun in preseason, going 4-0. I know it's just preseason, and they were pretty much all bad teams besides Memphis, but the team was fun to watch, and that's all I care. This Bulls team should be a playoff team. I expect them to be. This roster is talented from top to bottom. I truly do believe the sky is the limit for this team. Definitely leave some comments and questions below today's video talking about all the roster changes the Chicago Bulls did make over this past weekend. What you guys expect the Bulls record to be starting this season. The first 4 games, I believe the Bulls should be 4-0, maybe even 5-0. I believe we could beat the Pistons easily, Pelicans, Pistons again. Raptors aren't that good. I believe the Bulls are better than the Knicks. It wouldn't surprise me if this Bulls team did start 5-0. That's my expectation, but who knows? The NBA season is completely different than preseason, of course. But nonetheless, thank you guys for all the love on the channel and my last video. Definitely check out that last video if you guys missed it. It's always fun to talk about potential trade rumors and trade targets surrounding the Chicago Bulls. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Have a good one.